Hello, welcome back to Together Both. So, as you're watching this, as it's released, it's April the 22nd, which is Earth Day. And we're going to look at that and global warming from a Christian perspective and why I don't sweat it. See, there's a verse in the Bible to support my thought, and we'll explore that and more right after this. Okay, so like I said, when this airs, it's going to be released on April the 22nd, 2020. So, welcome to Earth Day 2020. Earth Day is a global event. It started back in 1970, and for me, that was a great year. At least I think so. I was born that year, so of course it's going to be great to me. So, nowadays, there's an Earth Day network. They have their whole website and everything, and it coordinates events in over 193 countries. In fact, they're celebrating 50 years of Earth Day. That means I'm 50. Anyway, almost. They're celebrating 50 years of Earth Day. They have posters, apps, and loads of other things on the website. Now, see, I support taking care of our Earth, but I don't sweat that global warming will wipe us out and make the Earth unlivable. Why, you may ask? Well, I don't think it's a problem. Why don't I think it's a problem? Do I dispute the consensus of scientists? Well, hear me out a minute and I'll explain my theory. It's based on a sound biblical passage, and I'll give you that in just a bit. But first, let me be clear. Let me be totally clear. I believe in science. In fact, it was my favorite subject in school. I believe God gave us creative brains, and we use that to observe, explore the world that He created. I also believe that God established all things. See, He gave us the ability to realize the science behind math, the climate, engineering, medicine, all forms of learning. He gave us that. So my not sweating global warming has nothing to do with not believing in science, because science is awesome. I love it. It's great. It's loads of fun. It's interesting. It's perfect. So why don't I sweat it then? Why don't I sweat global warming? Do I not think it's happening? Well, I've heard both sides of that debate, and I'm not going to get into that here. That's not my objective here. See, bigger brains than mine have argued both sides, for it, against it. And if you actually stop and listen, you can kind of say, I can see that on both sides. So, it's important to listen. So, okay, am I worried that man is destroying the earth? I can be a bit more definitive on that. I believe God gave us this earth, and we are charged with its care. See, Christians should be the biggest proponents of its care. After all, it's God's magnificent creation, and we shouldn't take that lightly. So yeah, we should take care of the earth. That's no problem about it. So can we destroy parts of it? Well, yeah, that's observable. We've seen destruction and stuff happen. But I still don't sweat the long-term effect that we have on earth. Why? Why, Dave? Don't you get it? We're killing the planet. It won't sustain us. Well, folks, the Bible tells me different. See, way back in Genesis, God gave us a promise. And folks, God always keeps His promises. After the flood that took out all the earth except Noah and his family. And by the way, on the flood, I'll have a video on that as well. For those who thinks that God's actions there were just horrible, there's people out there that think that. I'll have a video on that eventually. After the flood, though, Noah built an altar and burnt offerings to God from every clean animal and bird. See, here's the passage that I take comfort in, and I base my thoughts about not sweating global warming on. In Genesis 8, starting in verse 21, when the Lord smelled the pleasing aroma, he's talking about Noah's sacrifice that I just read a little bit earlier. So anyway, when the Lord smelled the pleasing aroma, He said in His heart, never again will I curse the ground because of man, even though his inclination of his heart is evil from his youth. And never again will I destroy all living creatures as I have done. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall never cease. See, my friends, God promised as long as there's an earth, we'll always have seed time and harvest. We'll always have food, in other words. God says it, and I believe it. Now, I'm old enough, almost 50, I'm old enough to know that scientists don't always get things correct. See, back in the 70s, there were the so-called gas shortages where scientists predicted we'd run out of fossil fuel. And now look at us. The United States is one of the leading producers of oil. We've got as much as the Middle East. We've got as much as Russia. In fact, we've discovered areas where we thought that all the natural gas was tapped out. There wasn't any more. They go back and look at it, and now it's refilled. God has blessed us with natural oil. There was no gas shortages. We just thought there was. We've always had scientists that think we can't feed everyone on Earth when the population booms and increases. Well, it did, and lo and behold, God blessed us with technology to provide more food. In fact, the United States, has so much food that we turn some of it into fuel. We let it rot and we turn it into ethanol. We turn it into soy biodiesel. You see, our God is still active in maintaining this earth. Therefore, I don't worry about it becoming inhabitable. See, we can destroy parts of it, but according to that passage in Genesis, it will always sustain us. God is in control. See, Jesus told us back in Matthew 6, starting in verse 25, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life?" See, there you have it from the Creator himself. Don't worry. God is in control. One of my favorite songs from the VBS this summer, there was a verse that said, "I won't worry about a thing." I love that. That's such a great verse. I won't worry about a thing. So to sum all this up, it's Earth Day. Go out, take care of the earth, and be a good steward. But don't worry as do unbelievers. See, God does and will provide. He is in control of his earth. May God shine upon you and may he richly bless you. Thank you for watching Together Both.